To have you back on the discussion segment on Good Morning Anambra this lovely Tuesday morning. It's a very, very cozy, cool Tuesday, and I'm sure you're enjoying this lovely weather that we are enjoying here. My name is Ajuluchuko Kabu, in case you're just joining us.
My name is Nonye Ngokoye. Now, what do we have to talk about this morning? You know, ABS is always at the hem of affairs, bringing you detailed information about certain issues. And this morning, we'll be talking about empowering humanitarian workers to respond to crisis situation. You know, most times you see people bring out their phones, you know, trying to get a video, be the first to break the news of what is happening instead of trying to save lives. But of course, you don't blame them. They are not trained. All right, we'll be talking about how to train these people in times of crisis situations, let them know what to do. And we've been joined in the studio this morning by a branch communication officer, Nigeria Red Cross Society, Anambra State, Mr. Joseph Ugochukwu Obidigwe, and today is in commemoration of the 2025 World Humanitarian Day. You're welcome to the studios. Thank you. Your name sounds so familiar, Obidigwe. It's good to have you. It's good to have you in full regalia of Nigerian Red Cross. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right. Now, talking about humanitarian services, I would want us to understand what actually is humanitarian services. Okay. With examples for us to understand fully what it is before we move on.
Okay. So, talking about humanitarian service, we are just referring to every act of kindness shown by individuals during an emergency situation. So emergency has many details in it. So as common as somebody slumping, when there is flood, any occasion that calls for people to, you know, jilter, like, what's going on here? So every act of kindness within that situation that helps the situation is what we're talking about.
That's a great one. So it entails maybe getting to accident scene, or where maybe you're passing, an accident happen immediately,
stopping by,
or somebody just falls, a situation where you can apply CPR, something like that. Okay, thank you so much.
Our humanitarian action.
Well, thank you so much for that. Well, then, to the curious mind out there, with that apron that you're wearing, somebody would ask, what is the Red Cross? What does this symbolize? Somebody might even say, is this young man a citizen of Switzerland? Because, you know, to the listeners there, can you just break it down and let us know what Red Cross is all about and what they stand to represent?
Oh, okay. So the Red Cross is a humanitarian organization that helps to alleviate human suffering. So basically, what we do is emergency response. Basically, emergency response. And we also serve as an auxiliary aid to the government. So when we say that, we say, we are not helping, we are not here to be the government. We are here to serve as an auxiliary to the government. So in most of the programs that are being done, especially things that concern or pertain to humanitarian action, that's where you find the Red Cross.
All right, I think we have to probe into Red Cross more before we talk about this topic. Talking about Red Cross, me personally, most times I've not really seen how they operate or where they operate. For instance, maybe an accident happened at this express, you know, does Red Cross have an emergency number that people can dial and Red Cross will rush to the scene to help, being trained humanitarian workers? I don't think I've seen that or heard that happening. So if you can explain to us, you know, how Red Cross operates in this yes, okay, how they operate.
Generally.
Yes, generally, because I've not seen.
Oh, okay. So the Red Cross like we said, we respond to emergencies and give basic training on life support, so like first aid. And of course, answering the question, we have an emergency line that is usually held by our disaster manager. That is Mr. Pikulia Oji, who happens to be the disaster.
I hope the number will be shared here before you leave, or you get it.
Oh yes, I will
okay.
get it. I'll
All
get
right.
it.
All right, go on.
I'll get it. So during scenes of emergency, what the Red Cross actually do, because we have our grassroots volunteers almost in every corner, both within Anambra State and in Nigeria. So when there's an emergency, you can always reach out, especially if it is within a region that is whether in a hard-to-reach region or within the town, the urban areas. So we have a response number, and of course people, we've been responding. Okay, I'll give you instances. Like during the building collapse in Amobia, I personally was part of the team that evacuated those that were trapped under. And then while our training officers were they were all available, like our trained first aiders rather. So they were available offering first aid to people who were injured. Even in the building collapse that happened in Onitsha, then there have been a series of accidents within this Oka where, it's either a vehicle hits somebody and then they are left half dead because most times we see some of these challenges and people are avoiding it. We'll talk about that maybe later. Okay. But of course, the Nigerian Red Cross have been responding to emergencies, especially within Anambra State.
All right. When we delve into the training, we would like to equally find out whether you co-opt other people, whether you go to schools to train children, or the extent of the training that you do. But now, we would want you to tell us, the kind of training that are required for humanitarian services and how they get it.
Okay, so talking about the Nigerian Red Cross, we are pros, let me use the word, when it comes to emergency response and first aid. So in fact, when you even go to Google, they will tell you that the Nigerian Red Cross is at the forefront when it comes to first aid, basic life support, and emergency responses. So one of the mechanisms we use to achieve this, because the Nigerian Red Cross is found in almost all the local governments. I'm talking here in Anambra State first, right? So we have people even back to places like Inoma. Okay. If you now going to the Obaru side, we have volunteers even as far as places like Ogwipele. These are communities that before you get there, you enter a boat. It's not motorable. So, and the strategy we use is we train our volunteers on first aid. We train them on emergency response. How do you ease the situation? Because we're not doctors. What we do is to help the situation before the person gets to the hospital. So basically, what we do is just trying to help the situation to not get out of hand, to prevent the situation from getting worse.
Okay.
Thank you so much for that submission. Nigerian Red Cross seems to be, in my own opinion, scarce seen, within crisis areas in Nigeria, even when we have flooding and the rest of it all. It makes it seem as if your humanitarian service is only probably maybe on the front pages of newspapers and then maybe on the lips of people that are working there. What am I trying to say in essence is that when I was a kid in primary school, I remember first aid box, and it had the cross like you're having there. We had it in our class. I could remember they were volunteer personnel from the Red Cross. They brought a dummy and they were showing us, as little as we were, how to do CPR. My daughter has finished primary school, and I can't remember Red Cross even visiting any of their schools. Does it mean that you guys have renegated that job of, bringing rescue mission to the kids as early as primary school, or that volunteer aspect of it all? you guys don't, you're not in the forefront of it anymore like it used to be when I was a child?
Oh, okay. Responding to that, if you, I beg to disagree a little bit about saying that we're no longer visible in schools. Okay, I'll give you instances. In most of the schools within, I keep on limiting our base to Anambra State because that's where
Your dot side.
You
Yeah.
understand?
But actually, I
That's
did
where
school in Anambra State.
Oh, okay.
So
So,
the primary school
talking
was
about
nice.
structures of the Red Cross within Anambra State, in schools, in some, I can at least, we know of Patram College and a lot of other schools where our structure actually exists. So what we do basically is get there, write to sometimes to the school, and except we get permission, we don't come and then set up our structure in your school. So, but we have structures in most schools where we teach them. In fact, the Nigerian Red Cross organizes even first aid competitions among schools, and it's happening here in Anambra. So I'm surprised that you're saying that.
I'm
Okay,
saying that
so-
because as a kid growing up, I used to see Red Cross. Now, even though that the fact that we are almost dressed alike, apart from the apron that you're wearing and I'm not wearing, I begin to wonder, when was the last time I saw Red Cross? It's like you guys are
Okay, maybe
you're not
maybe-
visible to the
okay,
human
maybe
side
this
anymore.
maybe this has something to do with this place where you are. But most times our operations are in communities, the village. So everybody will tell you that the Red Cross is, we have more of our operation is in some of those hard to reach areas.
All right,
where-
from the Humanitarian World Day website, we can see a quote that says, the world needs more.
Yeah.
So that means that it should not be just Red Cross offering a humanitarian aid, because you won't be everywhere at the same time. Now, are there any specific programs in place to build local capacity, you know, and empower community-based responders? Yeah, are you doing that? And let us know.
Okay. Just on Friday, we had a simulation exercise in Inoma, Ukwala, and Owele. These are places within Anambra West. Now, if you're familiar with Anambra State, you know that these communities I just mentioned, one would think that they are not even within Anambra State because they are far, almost at the boundaries. So why did we do the simulation exercise? It is to help these people. Do you know that every single year, these people experience flood? And the kind of flood I'm talking about, it's not that type where they just say you dip your leg. I mean, you have to use boat, yes, canoe, you want to buy something from your neighbor. And now you get to those places, you see more of upstairs, you think it's about money. No, they don't have, it's not about money. It's about the fact that they expect flood every single time. So when it comes, they have to move upstairs, move their things upstairs. And you find them trying to survive like that. Now, the simulation exercise was geared towards teaching this community how to cope with flood, what to do. And we've been there for more than 2 months, giving them early warning signs. So, of course, when NIMET do their normal forecast, and then we already know that this thing is coming. And the community themselves sometimes know that, oh, this thing is coming, right? So we keep on, as the Nigerian Red Cross, mobilizing our people. So we have structure there in their community. So we train those people to train and help their community while they are doing the early warning.
Apart from all these river-prone areas, or flood-prone areas, you know, there is something I noticed with developed countries, most developed countries of the world. Even our kids that stay there, you see them going for swimming training. You know, this is not. It does not show that they swim all the time, but in case of emergency. Now, what Ajolo asked before about going to schools, you know, don't you think it's important that our nation or our state should start from when these kids are small to teach them about basic things in case of emergency. Even young people, that's why you see some people, when they get to an emergency situation, they keep filming, you know,
Because
to
they
break
don't
the
know
news.
what to do.
But most of them don't know what to do actually, because if they knew, the first thing that should have come to their mind is to save
How
lives
to help.
first. So don't you think it's important for Red Cross to go back to the basics of going to schools to teach children? Let it be incorporated into their maybe
The system.
Yes, that they grow with it in case of emergency.
Okay, as the Red Cross, we are doing our best to see that these things are possible. However, we are faced with a lot of challenges, especially in this part of the world. So, for instance, to get some of these things done, right, you know of, there's serious finance involved. Now, one might say, oh, do you need finance to go and train somebody? Oh, well, let me explain something. Information is based on what you can accommodate, right? So the more you know, the more likely you are to deliver. And Red Cross is a voluntary organization, which means that these people they still need to fend for themselves, even while they do these things. So Humanitarian at heart, when there's a situation where they can assist, they do, right? But these people work also. They try to make a living. Volunteers have their jobs that they do. So for instance, okay, you are here now. We have many volunteers around, but they have other things that they do, right? So if we are here and let's say you're in this program and there's an emergency at the main road, right? Would you just leave what we're doing, leave what you are doing or what you're paid
You know
for,
the answer
and
now.
then, and rush to say, oh, I heard there's an emergency, let me get to it. You see, so some of those things, the fact that the country's economy is telling on a lot of people, is also a challenge. It's a very big challenge. Now, when we talk of also, talking about finance also, when you get people to move, to train people, knowledge is not cheap, like we know, right? So to get our people out there to train people, right? Sometimes you need to, even if you don't pay them, because what we do in the Red Cross is incentivize, right? Now you don't pay them, but one should not just sacrifice and lose even the finance that they are trying to save. I don't know if you understand that. So it's a challenge. And now, talking of challenge also, we also will always keep pleading with the government to make the environment conducive. So sometimes you're moving and you're moving on the road and you are being stopped and check this, check that, you do this, do that. I believe you understand what
All right, now,
what I mean.
okay,
So these are all challenges.
These are challenges, fine. But I know that you work for Red Cross. You are not just a volunteer. Now, are there things you do to prevent, or to take care of the mental health of your fellow humanitarians, and of course, burnout prevention among the staff? Because you said there are volunteers, but I believe that you work with the Red Cross. What do you do, in the face of mental health and, of course, some of the challenges that are being faced by your staff?
Okay, so we have what we call PSS, psychosocial support.
Okay.
So we have programs on that. We have trainings on that. And given the context, some of the time we call for a get-together, right? And then we encourage ourselves, because the challenge we face is not just for the volunteers. Now, you said something, but I don't want to make so much comment on that, but just know that everybody in the Nigerian Red Cross is being incentivized.
Okay.
we are volunteers, even here in Anambra State.
Okay, okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Obidigwe. You talked about challenges you have, but then let's say disaster response doesn't work with challenges, because the more you talk about this challenge or the more you presume about this challenge, lives will be lost. So now I'm trying to ask, how do you bridge the gap with these challenges and then your disaster response? That's one on the other part. And then do you collaborate with hospitals, with fire, what would I call it, fire service? Do you collaborate with NEMA? Because these are the agencies that you understand I have. And then we've had issues where people say, can we go source blood from Red Cross? I don't know, do they have a blood bank in Red Cross? Do you guys do any of such things? Please.
Okay, there is blood drive in Red Cross. However, the challenge with that is that we don't have enough facilities to store blood.
Okay, so when you do the blood drive, what happens? You take it to the hospital?
So we prefer that when our people get challenged, sometimes we post it and then people volunteer. So let's say, for instance, once we get that message that, oh, there's so person in need of blood, right? So we push it out, and people within that area go to volunteer, because we sometimes feel the need. There was a complaint back, okay, few years back, about the fact that, okay, so you donate blood and take to the hospital and it is sold.
Yeah.
So
I'm about to even asking that.
Good. So it's a very big challenge when it comes to blood drive. So there are many people who want to volunteer. However, when you donate blood and it is being sold, then the essence is defeated, because the idea was to save life.
Yeah. So
in emergency situation.
So how do you guys manage that conundrum, whereby somebody is willing to give his blood free of charge, and then the hospital is cashing in on it?
That's why I said that the system we are using, though not effective now, but we hope to build a more effective system, is the fact that when we get requests from people, because sometimes some people can just approach us and, oh, my person is in the hospital, in this. So, of course, our volunteers are ever ready to donate blood. So we get them to go and then do this donation.
So about the sister organization I just mentioned, NEMA, the hospital, the fire service, do you guys have some collaboration?
We have a very perfect collaboration, because they cooperate with us very well in Anambra. Even in the simulation exercise, we have people like Niwa who joined us, because these people, they do more of water things, right? So they are skilled with rescue inside water. So even in the simulation exercise, they helped us, and they have been good when it comes to this water thing. And then the SEMA is our paddy. And then, of course, fire service, the federal road safety,
the military,
they've all been giving us their cooperation. However, like I said, we are limited by some things, and we can only do so much when it comes to.
So when you have all these sister agencies that are working around you, so why would you still be having challenges? Can they in any way throw some financial support or even resources in order to make your job a lot easier?
Well, as of today, we've not gotten such financial support from sister agencies. Most of the time, what we get. Okay, now
all right. I think this could be an opportunity, to sell your organization, and of course, letting maybe road safety will be more visible after this program. You're watching Good Morning Anambra, and we are talking empowering humanitarian workers to respond to crisis situation. In the studio, we are with Joseph Ugochukwu Obidigwe, Branch Communication Officer, Nigeria Red Cross Society, Anambra. Okay, now we take a very short break. The program returns after now. Do join us again.
Anambra Broadcasting Service, ABS. With delight, we bring you the light that we bear through our illustrious leaders. Our icons. Our industrious people. our rich culture, our places of pride, and our mouth-watering cuisine. With unbridled professionalism and renewed tenacity, we serve you real-time news, information, entertainment of varied genres with unfettered reach of your clients and customers. AB.
Glad to still have you stay with us. We are still discussing empowering humanitarian workers in response to crisis in Nigeria. Obviously, we know perennial rainfall, flooding is what we usually experience in some parts of Nigeria, with NEMIT giving us statistics, 31 states is going to be flooded and the rest of it all. So now, with the Red Cross and other sister agencies that are there to give us smooth and quick response to crisis area. We now want to know the challenges. I will still talk about challenges, because a medical doctor can be telling me that in his hospital where he's going to be operating somebody, there is no light, because that would mean that somebody is definitely going to be dying every now and then. Now, talking about these challenges, you said that you guys work in partnership with government. Knowing the importance of Red Cross and the importance of the humanitarian services you guys carry out, is there no way you guys can either advocate, you understand, for some funds to be made available so that when crises do hit, because it doesn't tell us, Mother Nature doesn't give an alarm that this is going to happen, it could just strike, so that there will be that swift response. And swift response means there will be less casualties. We'll have less cases of people dying and the rest of it all. Please, I don't know how you guys operate, but then I'm very, very concerned about saving lives, because that's what Red Cross is all about. And I don't want to be, hearing this issue of challenges. Please, can you just put it through to us? Let us know how this thing can work out so that we can have a very effective Red Cross in this part of the world.
Oh, okay. So, talking about how things can work out, and then the partnership and collaboration you talked about. Like I said, that our stakeholders, some of these partners, or rather stakeholders, we cooperate with them, but we cooperate with them when it has to do with the things that pertain to them. So, for instance, you can't write to SEMA requesting for fund, right? Because they will they will likely tell you that there's no fund currently.
But I've seen Red Cross vehicles in some parts of Nigeria. There is this artillery vehicle you guys have branded Red Cross with antenna, everywhere. So you begin to wonder.
But you said something about working with government.
Yeah.
Is there nothing government
as
does?
Auxiliary aid.
I know.
Even as auxiliary as it is,
okay,
something should be accrued to you.
Let's use Anambra for as a case study.
Okay.
Nothing comes from the government to Anambra State. Red Cross.
Nothing.
Okay. Nothing. I say that.
Okay, nothing comes because you have not asked.
No. No, it's not because we have not asked.
We have our SEMA, Anambra State Emergency Response Team, and the rest of it. So does it mean that they do all the whole work without your collaboration, and then you tell me that you do yours without the government even knowing you need money in order to function? You need vehicles to get to these hard-to-reach areas.
That is why
you need money for personnel.
That is why
you even need money to even have your first aid box donated to schools and the rest of it all.
Good.
So whatever thing that you're doing, humanitarian service needs a whole lot of money. So you can't tell me that you guys are working with your hands tied and then...
Well, that's what I'm telling you.
Are you guys magicians or miracle workers?
We are not magicians, neither are we miracle workers. So, but like I said, thank God for this kind of avenue.
Please.
Where we have to, plead with the government, we need support to be able to carry out our humanitarian service effectively. Like for instance, we have just one ambulance. And we all know that sometimes emergencies can be simultaneous.
Exactly.
But of course, we're now limited to using just one ambulance. Now, operational vehicles, we need more than just being able to move from here, point A to point B, right? So we have just one operational vehicle. And you can imagine when there is a call that there is something in Onitsha, there is something in, let's say, Nnewi, you can only respond to one, right? And the humanitarian service, given the nature of the humanitarian service, nothing is forced. You just have to request, and if you don't get, you keep doing the much you can. Okay, for instance, even in NYSC camp, for instance, we're only allowed to send 4 persons from the Nigerian Red Cross. Then when we get there, we co-opt people and give them basic knowledge. Now, that scenario, for instance, 4 persons in a camp that we have over 2,000, how many persons? What much do you, like what exactly do you really, just like you asked, you say, are we magicians, right? So you will now notice that some of these things, now the first staff is the only people that NYSC can give stipend at the end of the 3 weeks. So you cannot send more than 4 persons, right? So you send the 4 persons, they get there and they're trying to help NYSC, other people who are willing to volunteer to teach them, but 3 weeks is such a short time, given their activities in camp.
Other activities in camp.
Yes.
All right, now having shared all these
This is just an
challenges, and of course, we know there are equally dangers for people that go to riverine areas to give help or render help, as the case may be. You know, what actually inspires those doing this work, you know, despite all these challenges?
I'll take myself as an example. Within the last month, I've been to both Ogbaru, where we used boat, and then Anambra West, where we used boat. But the truth is, every humanitarian at heart just drives pleasure to see that they're making impact. And I will tell you the honest truth as a living example, that it's just the pleasure we drive from seeing that we're impacting in people, right? And sometimes when you're doing some of these things, some of us, okay, some of the people who went to hard phobia for water too, and then you see them trying because they are looking at some of us who don't, right? Some of us are not scared, so it's more like the satisfaction plus an adventure for us. Whereas somebody else looks at it, is looking at the water, is going to enter a speedboat that is not covered, and it's like, hey, ordinarily, there's nothing bringing me. I can never be here. One said, I will never be here, right? If it was under normal circumstance. But of course, like I said, what brings us satisfaction is to see that we are making impact. So like if you go to some of this community and you mention Red Cross, the way they will open their hands to accept you, go to some of those villages. What is left for them is to go and bring some of their farm produce and give you. But of course, we don't accept gifts. So, but that is, it gives a different kind of excitement.
Feeling.
Yes.
No, you're saying this is an excitement, and for people out there watching us that want to, you understand, actually touch human beings positively by creating time and their own resources to help people, how can they be part and parcel of Red Cross, even though you said it's a volunteer, you understand, voluntary occupation, so to say? How can they be part of it?
Oh, it's very easy. Joining the Nigerian Red Cross Force is very easy. You just go online and www.redcrossnigeria.org and then register as a volunteer. Now, we have a database that shows us from where you are talking from or from where you registered from, right? So, given that is if you, because in the Nigerian Red Cross, you can register as a member. So membership now has to do with paying the membership due, the monthly, the yearly membership due. So, but volunteers don't pay any due. We just know that you are within this place, and when there's an emergency, we can reach out and say, please, could you help us do this? Now, for donation, there is an official detail for donation. And of course, some of these things, we keep on pleading, like you said, that people will open up to this volunteering act. And then for those who can support financially, they do through the branch. The branch is located in Anambra. We share fence with the now former governor's lodge. So,
all right, now you talking about empowering humanitarian workers. And we are here. We thank God for this privilege of being on air to talk. What form of empowerment, specifically, you've talked about finance. What other form of empowerment do humanitarian workers actually need to carry out their duties effectively and efficiently?
Okay. Number one is trainings, right? When we talk of trainings, we're saying being able to teach humanitarian workers what to do at those scenes of emergency. So to go into more details about this training, it's sometimes some of us within the state, we want to train some of the local people, but sometimes we're limited by what we can do, like I've mentioned. So number one is training and skill. Another one that can help us function more effectively is tools. So for instance, in some of the local communities, some of these things should be made available. Things like the first aid bus, right? Things like, for those riverine areas, life jackets. So you are in the community, you are a Red Crosser, there's an emergency where somebody is under the water. With your life jacket, it reduces the risk of you being part of the casualty, right? Now, provision of boats, that is still for this water side. So generally, providing tools that helps humanitarian service easy. Like I've mentioned, the first aid bus and the vehicle we talked about. These things help us to be able to function more effectively. Then, of course, government partnerships, right? Now, if we have proper funding, then we would be more able to do some things better and reach out to a lot more people.
I asked, outside the camera, behind the camera, I asked you about somebody, Professor Kachi. I don't know, I've forgotten his surname, but when Professor Kachi was at the Red Cross, he was virtually everywhere in the state. You see him mostly everywhere. And like I said, maybe it is this program that brought you out today to come to the media. Don't you think there is need for you to have a media presence? A situation whereby it could be once a week, you talk to Anambra about what Red Cross is doing, and of course, your needs. And don't you think it's important?
It's very important.
You can, from there, get people to support what you do, and people that could be interested in being volunteers as well.
Starting with you, Naya.
Okay, so that's a very, very, it's something I feel it will help. And of course, we can now start working towards seeing how to get on air more frequently, given that I think, like what you said, that will give us more visibility. In fact, as a matter of fact, it is my responsibility to do that. So maybe I have not lived up to it for some time right now, but as in a Ositadema, so I can now make more effort to get this done.
Yeah, because I'm sure there are lots of people out there that will be willing to be part and parcel of what Red Cross is all about. Nigerians are hospitable people. Anambra are even more at home when it has to do with lending a helping hand when the need arises. So I think you should do more, media presence, jingles on ABS or whatever platform, TV and the rest of it all, so that people can be conscious about your services. And here for sure, yeah, she's already championing. But when you were talking, you didn't even state age and then stuff like that. But I believe age wouldn't be a barrier for somebody that wants to actually help in volunteer services.
Everybody can be a volunteer.
Exactly.
Everybody can be.
And so quickly before we wrap up, the Red Cross is a global organization. The challenges you're talking about here, is it just peculiar to Anambra? Is it a global challenge?
National.
No, it's
if you need a helicopter, you can use the platform and equally say, because you definitely need a helicopter in crisis management, getting to hard to reach areas, and the rest of it all.
So the global audience of the Nigerian Red Cross, we have people who support the program. People like the USAID, we have the European Union.
I thought Trump has removed that. Are you guys still?
That's just recently.
Okay.
So, but we still have European Union. In fact, currently we are having the programs we are having are being funded by the Italian government. That is the RRR, the Response, Resilience, and forgotten the last one now. So, but they are all programs that are sponsored. There are people who sponsor. Even MasterCard is currently sponsoring vaccine intake. So the Nigerian Red Cross is doing more of the awareness thing. So there are people globally, the Nigerian Red Cross is being supported. Okay. But of course, we will always need more support.
No, of course, I concur with that. You definitely need more from whatever quarters, be it private sector, be it government, be it even individual. What about churches? You guys don't think that's where the money really is, you know?
Okay, so talking about churches, I feel the church has its own agenda too, and they support in the ways that they can.
They should. You guys should equally go there and then ask for one or two supports from them.
All right. Before we wrap up, we've looked at government support, and seeing that Red Cross is a global body, and I don't know what the international bodies are doing to strengthen protections and support systems for humanitarian workers. I don't know, is there anything they are doing to support humanitarian workers in this part of the world?
And like I said, they've been doing
so much.
Yes. Yeah, like last year we shared a couple of things, food items and non-food items.
Okay, now can you share a personal experience of a humanitarian work you have done in Anambra State and how impactful it has been? Okay,
last year we were in Obaru, Ayamelum, and then still Anambra West. Now, this, if you keep on hearing these places, because they are the places that are most vulnerable. Yes, yeah, they are most vulnerable. And then, as at that last year, when we went there, that's why I told you that I can boldly walk into Ayamelum, and I know that with their two arms, whenever they see this cross, with their two arms, they welcome you. Why? Because during that last year, they gained a lot of support, both food and non-food items. So in one of those occasions, even cash was distributed because we felt that, oh, these people are farmers. Why not help them with cash so that they can get the things they need? Because if you buy for them, you might not get what they need. So there was cash distribution, and you need to see the whole joy in their faces. Man, like I said, that is one of the most satisfying part of this, being a volunteer, right, with the Nigerian Red Cross, seeing that you make people happy.
All right, humanitarian work is, you know, like Obidigwe has just said, it brings joy to the people you do it for, and of course, you are fulfilled as a person when you do such work. Of course, we encourage people to join humanitarian work. It's a volunteer work. Don't expect payment from anybody. That is what it is. But, you know, developed countries enjoy volunteer work more than this part of the world, and we know the reasons anyway.
Yeah.
All right, we'd like to thank you. Thank you so much for being here this morning to talk about empowering humanitarian workers and how to do their work effectively in crisis situations. Thank you, Mr. Joseph Ugochukwu Obidigwe, the Branch Communication Officer, Nigeria Red Cross Society, Anambra State. We thank you for being here.
Welcome.
All right. We thank you also for watching. My name is Nonye Nwokoye.
Anambra Juluchukwu Okabwe. Well, don't mistake me for a red crosser. It's just a coincidence.
All right. Up next is Catch the Bus. Just stay tight. We are coming.